Soul was a movie I knew I had to see, but at the same time, I was dreading it because, well, with a title like Soul, you know it's going to deal with what life means. Having gone through a recent bereavement after the death of my sister after a brief battle against bowel cancer, I'm seeing life and death in a whole new way. And I guess I'm seeing creativity in a new way too. I have always pushed the motto of my channel, stay creative, because I truly believe that being creative in everyday life can make a substantial difference to our state of mind. However, this movie also made me wonder, what is the difference between a passion and an obsession? At what point does it engulf us so much to the point it makes us blind to what is truly important in life? I'm a practicing Christian and consider myself a theologist when it comes to the subject of the afterlife. Shows and movies don't answer the questions we have about life and death or the afterlife, but it does ask them and attempts to guide us in a direction to find our own answers. Entertainment is meant to serve as a form of escapism so that we're not grappling with the idea of heaven and hell, life and death. So when a form of entertainment does make the attempt, it tends to have a comedic edge, which at times, to me, feels like it's laughing at the topic instead of asking the questions at all. In my opinion though, Soul manages to touch on these subjects and themes in a way that is easy to digest without it feeling dumbed down or too comedic. With Pixar's Soul, it's not so much about death or the afterlife to me, but rather about an accidental out-of-body experience, because Joe isn't technically dead in this movie. It allows the main character to see his own life from a different perspective. Might it be when he sees his own life displayed in front of him like a curated art show, or from the perspective of a cat? Yeah, the movie lost me a little bit when this happened, but it did serve a purpose. It allowed Joe to see his life unfold in front of him from a different outlook, and to appreciate 22's perspective on life as she experiences it for the first time while her soul is in Joe's body. Though I have to ask the most important question here. What happened to the cat soul? How did it get back to Earth? Not important. Okay. In spite of being a religious and spiritual person, I appreciate it when films and shows that deal with the afterlife avoid making obvious references to any specific culture or religion. Instead, Soul depicts the afterlife or the great before as something that could be universally appreciated. It's minimal, abstract, and a little surreal, while also making it feel a little juvenile, giving it a sense of awe and importance. It made a grand statement without feeling macabre or creepy, at least in my opinion. And may I just say, it's about darn time we heard Richard Ayoade's, how do you say your last name? Dude, I've been a fan of your stuff for years and I still can't say it right. But anyway, it's about time we heard his voice in a Pixar movie. It's great to see Pixar returning to inventive, original ideas instead of recycling old ones. Pixar to me was a company that made movies that asked universal questions to do with the human condition. Soul also asked the question on how far you should chase your dreams and passions. Yeah, okay, it's basically a 90-minute long film that's basically telling you to slow down and stop and smell the flowers now and then and appreciate the people in your life, but you know what? For a studio to make a movie like this during a worldwide pandemic and have to coordinate a collaborative process through Zoom calls is nothing short of awe-inspiring to me. The movie contemplates the origins of human personalities and the concept of determinism, the philosophical view that all events are determined completely by previously existing causes. The movie is an exploration of where your focus should be in life. Having a passion that drives you is important to find, but people often mistake a passion, or a spark as it's referred to in this movie, to be a purpose rather than a focus, and that results in a feeling of dissatisfaction. It's a film that aims high, and many of the ideas and themes may go over a child's head, and maybe there are some themes and characters in this movie that I wish it spent more time with, but I still think it's easy to digest for the most part. It may not have the same emotional impact that other Pixar movies have, like say Inside Out or Coco for instance, but it didn't feel like it had a true ending either. But I think for a movie that deals with existentialism, I think that's kind of the whole point. Like Jazz itself, the movie has a very improvised feel, which I find so refreshing. It has a lot of rewatch value because of the breathtaking visuals as well. This is a beautiful and gritty movie with realism juxtaposed against the abstract minimalism of the afterlife world or the great before. It's almost like two different movies meshed together, and I love it for that. If I had to say what I didn't like, I guess I'd say 22 herself. I found her character incredibly annoying. I would have also liked to have seen Joe interacting with his students a little more. It felt like they were just left to the side. Other than that, I do genuinely feel that Soul is my new favourite Pixar movie. But then it's probably because I can dive into this from an analytical standpoint a lot more than, say, most of Pixar's other movies, in my opinion. But then it may simply be because I'm going through grief and a movie that is about existentialism just so happened to come along at the right time for me. Who knows? One thing's for sure, Soul is alright. I'm Mad Munchkin. Stay creative.